have sent your kids back to school, or maybe you're sending them off to daycare for the first time, maybe you're going back to work for the first time, or maybe you just have a transition happening in your family, right? 4-month regressions, 6-month sleep regressions. I call those transitions because regressions seem hopeless. So, yes. So, there are various ways that we are transitioning and that we need to stay consistent within our lives. And sometimes it's going to look different depending on what your family's needs are. So, today, what I'm going to share with you, I just have a little itch there. What I'm going to share with you are some of the things that I do that have made me successful in the mornings. And when I skip these steps, the morning goes to shit. Quite honestly, yesterday morning, we didn't have lunches made. 3 kids, very different food preferences, which makes my job kind of challenging. And my youngest, he'll be 4 next month, grade, and he decided that it was Saturday yesterday. And he isn't someone that you can convince. And like, we had the evidence stacked, right? Look at the calendar. It's Monday. Look at my phone. It's Monday. Look, you are on the school bus. School buses don't come on Saturday. But man, oh gosh. And when those things happen during the day, they can or in the morning, that can really set the tone for the rest of your day, right? Stress creeps in because you have somewhere that you need to get to be, or you have somewhere where you need to be, and something or someone is getting in the way of that, right? That can be stressful. That can be running late. That can create some anxiety. So I'm going to share lots of stuff with you today on how to set your mornings up for success. For the most part, we're all human. We're going to have our days. But really, we're going to focus on your nighttime routine, setting up the daytime routine. So I'm going to pull up my notes. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to think about how we want to start the day and end the day. Now, as I said, this is going to change, but the idea here is it's automatic. We want to create that automatic system, but where a lot of people get mixed up with this is that they try to wing it. And they try to overhaul everything at once. So where I need you to start is asking yourself something like, what can put you in the best position to get through your morning with ease, or at least do the best that you can, right? Because again, what you do in the evening will set the tone for what you do in the day. Now, again, you don't have to follow my systems, but just to get an idea of some things that you can easily incorporate to your routine already. Because that's another thing people get mixed up with, right? They feel like because they're stressed in the morning, they need to overhaul the whole thing. When really, we want to look at some little tweaks. So think about what you can do the night before. Ask yourself, what can I do the night before to make my life a bit easier in the morning? And if you're noticing mornings are a bit crazy for you, then think about what in the morning is that major speed bump, and what can you do to make it, I was going to say, less intense, because sometimes it's it's one small thing that, throws you off, but, Yeah, I guess a speed bump. We'll call it a speed bump. I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head. But what are some things, or what are the things in the morning that are causing the most stress? And what can we do in the evening to make it easier? Right? So, so here's something most of us do. We set an alarm to wake up. One thing my husband started doing, which was genius because it's like a little bit of feedback, right? For the kids, that visual feedback instead of us saying 30 minutes and we're yelling at them, trying to rush them out the door. We actually put a countdown timer. We have it on our stove, but I'm sure you could use a phone or a TV or something, but something that is a visual to you. So setting the timer or setting an alarm up so that kids get dressed or you get dressed, you have your stuff ready to go, and then you're tying up the last few last minute things in the morning, like eating your breakfast, right? So setting an alarm, not only when you wake up, but in that countdown in the morning. This has been so helpful for my kids and even me too. So I don't know time. I don't look at the time very often, but I know now in school, yeah, I kind of got to look, got to get them there on time. So that timer is really helpful. And like I said, if there's something visual that, a reference, and it doesn't have to be anything loud, and you don't have to have like a really loud alarm or anything, just, even that visual countdown of how much time you have remaining in the morning. Like I said, that can be such a big help. Reason why we want to do this by setting up our night or the nighttime evening, or set up our morning in the evening. I'm not the best with live videos, by the way, but is again, when you're in that rushed state, it sets everything up, right? It sets your whole day up. When you're racing out the door, you're less likely to, make the food choices that you are hoping to make so that you can meet your goals, right? So, hey, that could be something that you prepare the night before. Maybe it's a breakfast, right? So even just that, a little small thing can make your morning better. If you're packing up lots of baby stuff because you've got to get your little one out the door. I remember those days. Now it's 3 out to school. But I would have my son's bottles and everything packed the night before so that I could just grab it and go. Then I would go work out, and then I would kind of come home and do my work. And again, that made everything really smooth. Because again, when I have more time in the morning, or when you have more time in the morning, you have more time to make, better food choices that are going to sustain you all day, not all day long, and not something of a drive-through. No shame in that. I did that yesterday, like I said. See, I'm sharing some of my own personal experiences with you. And yes, I went through the drive-through yesterday because I was starving, because I was wrestling my 3-year-old. And we ended up driving him to school and passed him over to his teacher, and he was just sobbing, and it was sad and it broke my heart. But he came home and he had a really good day. So glad his day wasn't thrown off, but mine certainly was. But that was also because I wasn't as prepared as I normally am in the evening. So maybe your nighttime is another routine that you need to take a look at. As I mentioned, back to school, whenever there's like a family transition, whether it's going back to work, whether it's, a period of sleepless nights, because babies and toddlers go through that too. Maybe you're moving or whatever, routines change. And sometimes we are on this autopilot thing where we're trying to incorporate our old routines into our current ones and it's just not working, right? So take a look at your evening routine too. Because when, like I said, transitions, big family stuff, it will show up in your evening routine as well. And that's what I'm seeing with my own kids. So if you're here, no shame. But, there are some tweaks that we can do to make that a little bit better. Um, so, so hang on, just grabbing my notes. Okay. If you hadn't noticed, I'm a bit of a stickler on sleep. So anything that I can share with you to make your life easier, or if, you just need general tips about making life easier so that you can sleep, I'm here for that. And honestly, having that morning and evening routine is so helpful for that. And having that structure in place. Now, when I say routine, I don't mean like 7 o'clock this and 8 o'clock this and 9 o'clock this, unless it's the morning. In the evening, we just kind of gradually turn down the lights. I turn on like a diffuser. It seems to be like a nice cue, another visual cue for my kids. And yeah, turning down the lights down, making sure that things are settled. We get stories and bed. If it's bath night, then bath, and then all of that stuff to bed. But, sometimes when that nighttime routine gets thrown off, maybe because of a late night, whether it's an event or you just wanted to hang out with your boo and watch a movie, that, can throw off things a little bit too. So if you are going to go to an event or something in the evening, have that stuff ready to go. So this is why, whenever possible, it's a good idea just to have a simple routine. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it has to support your lifestyle. So this is where, if you needed some extra coaching with this, again, reach out to me or the coach that you're working with. Throw it up in the Facebook group, because this is what we're here to help you through. So if you're struggling with these routines, if you're finding that this new routine isn't, you can't figure it out, or talk to a coach. That's what we're here for. We can help you put those strategies in place so that you can build that routine and stay on track with your workouts. Because that's the other thing that we want to mention here is that, if your day is thrown off in the morning, maybe you're heading late, for a lot of people, what happens is that they start skipping their workouts, and that actually becomes their routine. The chaotic morning, they're making up for it in their workout time. So if you are finding yourself here, we can help you with that. Because whenever possible, it is a really good idea to have a simple routine. And if you're fighting the mornings or you're fighting the evenings, we can help you simplify that. And once you find what's working with you, keep it as stable as you can. If routines feel restrictive to you, they actually can have the opposite effect, right? The right routines will help you take away that stress and make your life easier and help you make those, healthier choices, fit in your workout, get some sleep, stay consistent for yourself, and that self-care piece that we need so much. But again, being too strict or overly restrictive in your routine has that same effect as if we were to be overly restrictive with your workouts or with your nutrition, right? they have the opposite effect. So the same goes for your daily routines. Um, got some notes. Okay, yes. So one trick to creating a routine that you will actually stick to is, like I said, don't overhaul it. This is why we don't overhaul your workouts or what you're doing currently. We work with you in implementing these things at a stage that's appropriate for you, right? So the same goes for your routines. If you're trying to overhaul everything all at once, again, it's going to set you up for that failure or for that sense of failure because it's too much too soon. So, as I said earlier, ask yourself, what can I do in the evening to make my life easier in the morning? And then what in the morning needs my attention in the evening so that I'm not going crazy? And then starting there, 1 to 3 things at a time. You don't want to go anything over 3 because again, that's just too much to take on all at once. Simplified and sustainable, right? You don't have to have it all figured out at once. So, homework time. Here's your homework. One thing. You could just do one thing. If you want to, be a go-getter and do all 3, awesome. If not, start with 1. So what is one thing that you can do tonight to make tomorrow morning easier? Will you pack your lunch or your kids' lunch? Will you lay out your clothes or your kids' clothes the night before? Will you grab your workout clothes and put them out the night before so that you know that the next day or the following day is a workout day? Like I said, visual cues like that are so helpful. That was just a tip that I didn't intend to give, but it came up. So, but again, those visual cues for you as well, right? Putting your clothes out, getting that mental preparedness going for the next day so that you can sleep soundly, let's hope, fingers crossed, at night. So here's one more important piece. When will you do it? Okay. I find for me personally, doing my kids' lunch, making their lunches after dinner while I'm doing the cleanup, it seems to work the best. Now, my husband's been helping me, which is super great because there is more work to do now. But making their lunches the night before, hands down, has been a lifesaver for us. Did that last night, this morning. Graydon was the first kid on the bus. He ran. He was so excited to go. I don't know. But he wasn't stressed. He wasn't feeling our stress. And it was a pleasant experience for all. So another option that you have, again, is setting yourself an alarm, maybe after dinner or when you do get to those things in the evening. Set an alarm. Again, having that feedback, whether it's visual or something that you hear, is so helpful. If there's a show in the evening, watch your show, do what you need to do after the show. However it is you want to structure it in a way that works for you. But using some sort of visual cue, an alarm, a clock can be helpful, even getting you into the motions of building those habits. Try it. I guarantee after just a few nights, you will start noticing a smoother evening and a smoother morning. And over time, you won't even have to think about it it will be there. And like I said, if you need help getting set up and you're working with a coach, reach out to your coach. If you are in one of the self-paced programs, then you are more than welcome to respond to one of your emails, post your questions in the group, and we will be happy to help you there. What else do we have here? Yes. So every week you will be getting an email that complements this training. So the email that you get will be complimentary to this live training. So if you've looked in the, what's it called? Brain fart. There's an ebook that I have sent out. If you didn't get that, I am going to post them in the group. I'm going to start posting all of our client resources there as well as in the membership group. So that will be coming to you soon if you haven't gotten it already. But I did email it out. So if you have any questions, again, respond to the emails, throw them up in the Facebook group, or talk to your coach. But I hope that was helpful. Honestly, being a mom for like a decade now, I feel like I'm just getting the hang of things. But again, it's just by keeping things really simple. And sometimes it just takes some time to play around to figure out what that simplified process is for you. And you'll know when it works, right? So, there are any questions? Sip of water, long-winded. I get dry. So, again, we are here to help you out with this. So, every week, Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, unless otherwise specified, we will meet here for your live coaching sessions, and we are going to be talking about consistency over the next 4 weeks. I'm working on getting consistent back into my own routine, which I'm really looking forward to because I am a creature of habit. So this is going to be good for me too. So we're in this together. And so there we go. So have a great day. Talk soon, and I will see you next week. But you'll get an email every Monday going forward, unless otherwise specified. Take care. Have a great day. Happy Tuesday.